Crimson Peak is one of those films that I think we all went into expecting something else, being that I've watched it so many times by now, I can't even remember what I was expecting. But I definitely walked out of it and sang the same tune that a lot of people still sing, which is, it's not really a horror film, it's more like a gothic romance. That's fine, but it's definitely a horror film. It absolutely is. Because horror films weren't always the way we know them now. Before Poltergeist, this is where ghost stories took place. Victorian mansions and castles, not suburban homes. We didn't see ghost stories in modern life. And it's a hell of a ghost story. Some of it is actually inspired from a real life story that Guillermo del Toro's mother told him. Guillermo del Toro, by the way, absolutely one of his most beautiful looking films, Crimson Peak. He really takes the idea of the apparition, the spirit, and turns it into a painting. Well, him and his entire team turn it into this beautiful painting, this art piece. That's what makes Crimson Peak what it is. It's basically a Hammer film meets The Innocents or The Shining or The Haunting. It's just a grand scale ghost story. And it has this beautiful blend of CG and practical effects. Ghosts, a lot of people say, CG ghosts. No, it's a CG and practical effects blend, and it's absolutely stunning. The movie is scary at times, and there's some pretty brutal violence and substantial gore in this. Gore that you're not expecting. That's where the Hammer element comes into me. Heads getting smashed open on sinks. I mean open. People getting stabbed in the face. Meat cleavers buried right in the coconut. There's some wild shit in this. It even has elements of Disney's Haunted Mansion, which I always say, if Guillermo del Toro doesn't get to make his Haunted Mansion film for Disney ever, which has been in the pipeline for years, I'll happily accept this. So yeah, do I think Crimson Peak is a horror film? Absolutely. I think it's pretty hard to dispute. There's so many horror elements in there. Just because there's this ageless tale of gothic love doesn't make it any less a horror film. It just gives it more substance.